You need to realize that the universe doesn't care about how good your acting appears to other people, but rather how it appears to itself. Itself being the universe. It doesn't care if you have all the flashy cars. It doesn't care if you outwardly have the confidence that your desired reality would bring you. It doesn't care. It doesn't care if you go to the gym and now you look like the business owner that you look up to. It absolutely does not care and pays no mind to those things. See, you need to realize that it doesn't matter what actions you take, but rather who you are on a frequency level. And the best way to illustrate this is to bring in neuroKnowledge's concept of the multi-dimensional sequence of events. Essentially what this is it covers how reality unfolds, the true cause of everything in your reality. And going on to it right now. Please. Yes. So, the multi-dimensional sequence of events follows. It starts off with a frequency. That frequency goes to intuition. Intuition goes to mental nudges. Mental nudges goes to action. Then action to reality. That is the multi-dimensional sequence of events in terms of reality creation. So, frequency is interchangeable for state of consciousness. That's the phrase that I like using, but it's the same thing. State of consciousness. All these things, they're the same thing. So, your state of consciousness, let's say you're in a poor state of consciousness, or you're trying to grow your business, you're currently stuck at a revenue ceiling of 10K a month, and you want to make 20K. You've been stuck there for 6 months. Right now, you have the state of consciousness of someone who's making 10K a month. Therefore, downstream, you're going to have the intuition of someone who's making 10K a month. Because you have the intuition of someone who makes 10K a month, you're going to have the mental nudges of someone who makes 10K a month. Those mental nudges will tell you to do random things. Oh, change this video. Oh, call this person. Things that you can't really explain. Because you have the mental nudges of someone who makes 10K a month, you're going to take the action of someone that makes 10K a month. Now, because you've taken all these things of someone who makes 10K a month, you're going to have the reality of someone that makes 10K a month. Now see, people will see action because action is the first thing that you're able to see in this multi-dimensional sequence of events. And they'll say that action is the cause of reality. Action isn't the cause of reality. It is simply a midwife, as Nero says, of reality. It's a midwife of your state of consciousness into reality. I like to say it's the messenger. So your state of consciousness is the original message. Action is the messenger, and the receiver, that being reality, is So your state of consciousness leads to a certain action downstream, and that action leads to the reality. However, if you were to change the action, you wouldn't change the reality. The reason why this is true is because you see so many people, New Year's comes, and they're like, damn, tired of being fat. People think fat is a slur. Well, it's not good to call someone fat. If you can call someone skinny, you can call them fat. It's the same thing. It's just opposite ends of the same coin. Different sides of the same coin, right? So people, New Year's will roll around and like, my New Year's resolution is to not be fat. I want to drop 20 kgs. So then they'll start adopting the actions of someone who is 20 kgs lighter than them. They'll go to the gym, eat healthy, all these things. They'll be strong for 3 days. The 4th day, they're like, it's calm. I've been good for 3 days. It's calm. Come back tomorrow. And then they slowly start waning off until they're back to their old self, back to their old habits. And they were taking the actions of someone who was 20 kgs lighter than them. But because they hadn't changed their state of consciousness prevailed and thus maintained the reality that they were in. One thing you need to realize is that you will never be able to outrun your state of consciousness. Every time that you try to change your actions without first trying to change your state of consciousness is you thinking that you can outrun your state of consciousness. You can do all the cold outreach that you want. You can do all the cold calls. You can create even the best funnel in the world. But if your state of consciousness is vibrationally aligned with poverty, all those things are not going to matter. You are going to live in a state of poverty. You're going to create a reality in a state of poverty. And you see this so much in Zimbabwe. For those of you who don't know, I'm from Zimbabwe. I currently live in Zimbabwe. And The sad thing is, most people in Zim do everything right. Like, they work, they add value to the market, they are very intelligent, very literate. In fact, I think we have the highest literacy rate in Africa, in Zimbabwe, right? People do all these things, financial planning, financial literacy, they learn all these things. And on the surface level, they do everything right, but somehow things don't work out on an individualistic level. Of course, people say the economy, the government, all of these things. But on a purely individualistic level, you see that people stay in the same place regardless of the activities or the actions that they take. The reason why they stay in the same place is because they haven't altered their state of consciousness. They have viewed action as their savior. They have viewed action as the cause of their reality. So they will see something wrong with their reality and try to change with action. Trying to change something wrong in your reality by taking action is like trying to change an effect by trying to change an effect. It doesn't work. It's the equivalent of, let's say, water is boiling in a pot, and you're like, I want to cool this water down to like cold, right? Instead of turning off the gas, you start adding ice cubes. Like, that doesn't work. Yes, there will be like a temperature drop, maybe 5 temperatures drop, but that gas stove is always going to prevail. Likewise, your frequency, your state of consciousness is always going to prevail above the actions that you take, right? To truly change your reality, you're going to need to change your state of consciousness or frequency. There's no two ways about it. The frequency that you're in right now is in resonance with the life that you're living, the reality that you're experiencing. Likewise, the frequency of your desired reality is in resonance with your physical desired reality. So, now that you know that frequency is a true cause of the reality that you're living, the next question to ask is, how do you act in a way that alters your frequency? And by the way, if you're a 6-figure entrepreneur who knows they have an internal subconscious block that has been preventing them from making the amount of money that they know they should be making, click the first link in the description to apply to work with me. But anyways, the question that you're now asking now, shameless plug. The question that you're now asking now is, or you should be asking now, is, okay, how do I act in a way that the universe recognizes? Anyways, we'll get into that. See, acting on action will never yield to you obtaining your desired reality. I've covered that. The reason why it appears so is that sometimes when you act, you begin to subconsciously change your state of consciousness, which is actually the true cause of reality, as I've said. To explain this further, what will happen is, like, for people who, let's say they start going to the gym, they start eating healthy. As they do that more and more and more, they start to change their state of consciousness. They're no longer in the state of consciousness as someone who is fat. I don't know why I said fat with so much figure, but they're no longer in the state of consciousness as someone who's fat, and eventually stop being fat. They have the state of consciousness of someone that's fit, and their reality soon comes to reflect that state of consciousness. The true way to act is to act on a frequency level. Now that takes me into the next point, how to act on a frequency level. To act in a way in which the universe recognizes is to act on a frequency level. And to act in that way, you must first have emotionally experienced that which you desire, right? One thing you need to recognize is that everything stems from your subconscious mind. Your frequency comes from your subconscious mind. State of consciousness, whatever you call it, comes from your subconscious mind. And this is shown in the Bible when it says, guard your heart, for all things you do flow from it. For a long time, I used to think your heart was your heart. No, your heart is your deeper mind. Your deeper mind is your subconscious mind. So essentially, guard your subconscious mind, for all you do flows from it. In the context of this video, you need to alter your subconscious mind, because all you do flows from it, and it will affect your reality. So your frequency comes from your heart, your subconscious mind, and emotion programs the subconscious mind. So if you have emotionally experienced that which you desire, you have altered your frequency. And the way that you emotionally experience something is through either actual experience, or observed. So sometimes you will see, let's say, a loved one go through something terrible. I don't want to put some family members on blast, but there's certain things that I've observed that I never physically went through that now they have altered my subconscious mind. And I recognized this last week, right? I'm just gonna be honest. I don't care. There are certain situations where I observed that family members were treated differently, whether they did well or didn't do well in school. And I was always doing decently well in school, so I never really experienced it to the extreme. But my sister, God bless her, there were times where she didn't do as well. And yeah, she felt the full brunt of that treatment, where it's like, oh, when you're doing amazing, like, oh, parents love you, they're treating you amazing. Now when you do badly, get a bad report card, you come home, they're like, get a load of this guy. And it wasn't intentional on their part. I know for a fact that they were raised much worse than we are, but we were also children, But yeah, so it doesn't have to be something that you've gone through. It can be observed. And you see this on social media. Most people are traumatized by relationships that they've never even been in. Why? Because they'll hop on social media and their favorite influencer will tell them about a time in which they were cheated and they were cheated on, and their boyfriend not only cheated on them with a woman, but with 5 niggas at the same time. And you listen to that, you're like, damn. It invokes emotion. And emotion is the language of the subconscious mind. So the more you tap into these things on social media, the more you allow yourself to experience that emotional reaction, the more the things you see on social media will program your subconscious mind. Right? So the way in which to act on a frequency level is to emotionally experience that which you want to do. Because when you emotionally experience that which you want, right, you will be tackling the frequency domino. So let's say what you want right now is to emotionally, or to act as someone who's making $20,000 a month, right? So once you've emotionally experienced making $20,000 a month, right, it will be embedded in your subconscious mind. It will alter your frequency, your state of consciousness. Now, because you have the state of consciousness of someone who makes $20,000 a month, you have the intuition of someone who makes $20,000 a month. Because you have the intuition of someone who makes $20,000 a month, you have the mental nudges of someone who makes $20,000 a month. Now, because you have the mental nudges of someone who makes $20,000 a month, you will now take the action of someone who makes $20,000 a month. Now, because you take action of someone who makes $20,000 a month, you will now have the reality of someone that makes $20,000 a month. See, if you seek to act on the action level, you will still have the reality of what you are acting out on a frequency state of consciousness level. Why? Because you will never be able to outrun your state of consciousness. So, that is how you act in a way in which the universe recognizes. Now, the way in which you can emotionally experience that which you haven't experienced physically is through what I call internal alchemy. I just call it that because it's cool, but you'll recognize that this is a normal thing. So in internal alchemy, it's something that I tell all of my clients to do, is to find a quiet place where they will be undisturbed, sit, close their eyes, and be still. Now, what I want you to do is to relax until you reach a meditative state, a state in which you're not drowsy, but you're not really thinking about anything. You're not critically examining anything. You're just existing. And then there, visualize a short scene that would imply the unfoldment of your desired reality. The reason why this is important is because a lot of the times we think that we want the physical thing or the object of our desired reality. You think that you want $20,000 a month. It's very likely that you want the admiration from someone close to you. That's what matters more. Or you want the status that you think you will get. Or you want the emotion that you think you will get. A lot of the time, what we think we will get isn't the end point. It is a starting point. So, if deep down you want admiration from your partner after hitting a certain milestone, visualize you getting the admiration from your partner her saying, "Oh, I'm so proud of you for earning $20,000 a month." Visualize a short scene that implies that. Her saying, "I'm proud of you for making $20,000 a month," implies that you made $20,000 a month. So what that does is it'll invoke the most amount of emotional charge that you can. Because when you think that you want the money, you visualize the money, yes, you will feel some emotion, but it's not what you truly want. When you visualize what you truly want, that's when you get the most emotion out. When you get the most emotion out, that is when you program your subconscious mind. So I want you to do this and loop that short scene until you start feeling effort, until you start feeling strain. Now at that point, stop and go about your day. The subconscious mind doesn't like effort. It values ease, flowing. But that is essentially it. At that point, you would have programmed your subconscious mind. Your manifestation would be instant. The reason why it's instant is because there's more on an unseen level than there is on a seen level. It will take time for reality to catch up, but time doesn't have to be 10 years. Time can be tomorrow. Time can be the next day. Time can be whenever, right? And if you have done all of this, you would have learned how to act on a level in which the universe recognizes, and there's no option but to give you your desired reality. See, as Shakespeare said, the world's a stage and we're all actors. I've just taught you how to become the best actor to get the desired reality that you want. Anyways,